questions?
Regarding free will, do Muslims believe in free will?
Yes.
And how?
That is one of the most common questions, right? Because it's one of those things which normally normally things that are very difficult to understand. They're the ones that sort of entice us more, that we want to understand. Right? It's just this inquisitive human nature. What I would say, the general position in the Orthodox Islam is this: that as human beings, we have free will. Right? So we are free to do. For example, you can wrap your scarf around your neck right now. This way, you can take it off. You can put it in your bag, and so on. We have free will, but at the same time, God knows everything and He has determined everything, and both are true. Right? Now, you may think from a purely logical perspective,
Yeah.
how do I reconcile that?
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I'm just having.
Yeah. So this is why. So there's in Islam. One thing we need to understand is the principle that the human intellect, it has a scope, right? So it functions to a certain limit, right? There are certain things that are beyond us. We don't know everything. We don't have the capacity to know everything. So when you talk about free will, the best way I can summarize it to you is this: is that we are trying to compare two different realities. You're trying to compare a human reality, which is our free will from the worldly perspective, which is how we act out in this physical universe, and how we could choose to do things and we choose to do actions, and they're governed by the laws of physics X, Y, and Z. And then there's the reality of God. So when you try to now, because with God, He's eternal. He has no beginning, He has no end. Right? For God, past, present, future, it's not the same. It's not like we understand it as human beings, right? So God knows everything. God is aware of everything. God has created everything. He knows. He has determined everything.
So you have free will at the same
we
time.
have free will at the same time. But
It's
now
very strange. It's difficult to
it is.
reconcile.
It is. And this
Because
is
if God knows exactly what I'm going to do next,
Yeah.
then am I really free?
But we would say you are from a human worldly perspective. So from the perspective of this reality, you have that choice. Now, but at the same time, God is determined and He knows. And this is why we say at this point there are things that are beyond us. How these two realities reconcile with each other.
So it's a bit of a mystery. And,
It is.
And you're willing to say you don't
Absolutely.
really know.
There's many things, bro, we don't know and understand. Right? For example, when it comes to God Himself, we can only say about God what He has revealed to us and told us about Himself.
Yeah.
Right? So when God says He's eternal, as limited human beings, can we completely comprehend this reality? No, we can't. Right? When God says "Laysa kamithlihi shay," when He says He is unlike anything you can imagine, right? Can we comprehend this being? No, we can't. It's beyond us. Because as soon as you now try to think of God, right, and you try to picture and imagine God, you can't. Because as soon as you try to do that, what's going to happen is you're going to start thinking of things based on what you've already experienced in this world.
Yeah.
Because you know what's interesting, bro? The human intellect, imagination, we think it is amazing. Like you could sit in your bed, lie in your bed, and you could think of the most amazing things, right? You could travel to the farthest distance of the universe just lying in your bed, just seeing it in the eye of your mind. Yeah. But everything we see and we imagine, we picture is based on experience.
Yeah.
It's based on things we've seen already. It's just maybe a different combination of those things. So for example, if I tell you to quickly think of a new monster that's never been discovered, that's never been seen, and just picture that in your mind, what you're going to do is you're going to take elements of different things you've seen in reality already in the world around you and combine them. Right? That's what you're going to end up with. Right? So you may end up with a new creature in your mind, but it's a combination of different things that you've already seen. But when it comes to God, He says "Laysa kamithlihi shay," which means that He's unlike anything you can imagine. Therefore, there is nothing in this existence which resembles Him in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, it's impossible to imagine God or conceive of God.
You don't think that as a Muslim that makes it difficult for you to understand God? Because for example, like with the Christians, they say, well, God came down on earth.
Yeah.
We can have a relationship with Him.
Yeah.
But it sounds like for you, you're saying it's limited and we can't know it, and that's it. It kind of just stops there. Are you okay with that? Are you satisfied with that?
No, I'll summarize it in a bit different way.
Okay.
You're correct to the point where we can only really know about God what He has revealed to us and told us about Himself. Right? So like we said, your mind, this human intellect cannot fully comprehend the Creator, right?
Right.
But we can know what He has told us about Himself. Right? So He has, in Revelation, He has told us about Himself. Right? And what He has told us, He has given us the ability to understand at least that much. Right? So for example, in the Quran, one of the main chapters of the Quran, where God tells us about Himself, is the 112th chapter. You've probably read it yourself. Surah Ikhlas. Where God says, "Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad." Where He says, say that He is Allah, who is ahad. Ahad means one, but it means a unique one without a second. There is no other. He's alone, one and alone, right? Also, the word ahad, one of the a subtle meaning of it is that you can't break this one into parts, right? So you can't split this one into three parts. For example, as a Christian, you say that there is one God, but He's three distinct beings. You can't do this. You can't split God. So, for example, I have one watch on, but this watch you can break into several parts. So in Arabic, you would refer to this as wahid, one, but you wouldn't really say it's ahad, because ahad is you can't split or break into parts. It's uniquely one, right? Then he says He is as-samad. Now, samad is an amazing word because, and his exegetes have discussed this and commented on this word for centuries, right? Now, but some of the meanings of the word samad means He's absolute, He's eternal. He is completely independent,
Unchanging.
yeah, He's completely independent, free of need, and everything in existence is dependent upon Him. Constantly dependent upon Him. Normally in classical Arabic, samad would refer to a rock or something solid that's like anchored well to the ground. For example, in some of the explanations that are given when this word's used is when people go to war, and that's the most strongest amongst them, the one people will take refuge behind, will be referred to as samad. Right, so some of the connotations we should understand that He is the one that's completely independent, everything is depending upon Him. Right? There's a beautiful play in these attributes and names of God. Because on one hand you understand He's uniquely one, unlike anything. And you think, wow, this perfect being, how can I ever reach Him? How can I ever have a relationship with Him? Right? He's so unique.
He's distant.
But at the same time, the next verse where He said He's as-samad, now this brings a closeness in our understanding to God that although He is perfect and He's unique and He's unlike anything, but He is the one that you can depend upon. He is the one that can provide for you. So it gives human beings that balance in understanding.
Just like when you're going to battle, example.
Yeah. So you know, if you need anything, you turn to this one Creator who can truly provide for you. Right? Then He says, "Lam yalid wa lam yulad," and this is a very interesting verse from the perspective of Christianity, because He says He wasn't born and He does not give birth, in simple English. Right?
Come over here, Matteo.
Ready? What are we doing?
Mix, yeah?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Maybe this will help.
Do you know what I mean? What's wrong with you, man?
Leon, what is this?
Trying to sit on there.
I'm your number one fan, bro.
Let me do this for Sam.
Sam, you want to hear cheering, yeah? You want to hear cheering?
We disassociate from this man.
Can you sign my shirt?
Tell us when you guys are ready, yeah?
It looks daunting, it's nothing. It's normal, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What are we talking about today? We're talking about something very important. We're talking about building bridges between Muslims and between Muslims and other people. And what we're doing this, why
Right, so like we see in Islam, God makes it clear that He sent messengers to guide people back to the worship of the one God. So they start off, the messengers come, they clarify who God is for people. But when they leave, over time, slowly, people start to make idols. People start to give human-like attributes to God. Why they do this? Some of the reasons are, well, because they try to now bring God down to a human level where they can directly start to now have something more tangible in front of them. Right? A beautiful example of this in the story of Moses in the Quran. Even I believe you can find in the Old Testament as well, where Moses, children of Israel, told them to worship the one God, freed them from the captivity of Egypt, from the slavery to the Pharaoh and the Egyptians. And He told them to worship one God, but then when He goes away to worship God Himself, by the time He comes back, they've now made a calf, golden calf. They've melted down all the gold that they had and they've made an idol, right? And they've again started to worship these idols, right? So you see people doing this throughout history. They make idols and statues and start to over time worship these things.
Well, one of the when Muhammad was telling Quraysh that they should be worshipping
Yeah.
one God, but they were saying to him that they were saying that they worship idols. They were saying we worship the spirit inside of these idols, not the idols themselves.
Yes.
That was one of their objections. Yes, which I thought was quite interesting.
It's interesting because even some Hindus would say that today.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So some Hindus would argue, because I was speaking to a Hindu in, where was it? It was in Hertfordshire University. It was, he was going to be the president of a Hindu society or something. And his view was interesting, and I've heard it before. He said, well, we don't worship the idol. The idol becomes a channel for us to worship God through.
Yeah.
Right? But when you really think about it, if you know who God is, if you know God is all-knowing, and He's the one that answers you and hears you, you don't need an intermediary. You don't need a middle person, middle statue one, right? What you would notice is that some people would make the claim that it's just a point of focus and things like this. But in actual fact, they will end up worshipping that thing too. Because my natural question would be, well, okay, if you're arguing it's a point of direction, then why do you have God knows how many thousands of other idols? Right? Why do you need the idol of money? Lakshmi, I believe, is the god of money. Why do you need the god of so-and-so and the god of so-and-so if you don't worship that particular thing? Right? If that's just the point of focus for you, and through this point of focus you're worshipping God, and you're asking God for money, for example, then why do you need to have a specific God for money? Right? So you would see that although when they articulate their case and they articulate their position as to what they believe about the idols, they say, oh well, it's not, we don't worship X, Y, and Z, but they actually do. Because they have specific codes for those particular actions and things that they want. My thing is, the Islamic position is very simple. Islamic position is very simple. If God is all-knowing, He's all-powerful, He's the one that provides, He's the one that gives you what you need, He's the one that answers you, then you don't need anything in between.
But then that would contradict some, let's say, some Sufi sects, for example, because they do offer up prayers like to Abdul Qadir Gailani and so forth. So are you saying it's wrong to offer up prayers for the dead, or is it, let's say from your background, is it wrong to also visit the cemeteries? Or?
Yeah, I'll give you a principle, because I don't know about certain sects or groups.
Because some groups say you can't even visit the cemetery, even that is like a kind of shirk. So
yeah, you'll see people fall on both ends of the spectrum, right? So I'll give you the principle is this: when you study the Quran and you study the prophetic tradition, something that becomes very clear, the most fundamental thing, is the worship of one God. Worship of God alone, without doing shirk. Shirk meaning associating anything in the worship of God with God. This could be anything. This could be people. This could be idols. This could be other gods. This could be even just material things like money, X, Y, and Z. So if this message is very clear, bro, right, then anything that counters that, whether it's worshipping a grave, whether it's worshipping a person, whether it's worshipping a saint, X, Y, Z, it goes against the tradition, what Islam teaches. And it goes against the core fundamental message of Islam. And unfortunately, over time, we believe that Satan whispers to people. We believe people develop ideas and views. And also, bro, unfortunately, one of the realities is that sometimes religion generally is taken as a mode of making money by certain groups of people, right? And it's very convenient. I can tell you, I'm from Pakistan. Okay? There are certain individuals who have made religion into a money-making scheme. Yeah, it's a business, bro. They would represent themselves as a being or as a big religious, spiritual figure who maybe speaks to God in some way, is a, even to the point where they may even, they will be seen as their followers as some sort of prophet or something like this, right? And they end up worshipping these people. And they're like, okay, you want something to be done? Come to me, ask me. I will speak to God for you. Give me £150, £200, and what you want will come true.
Like an indulgence.
Unfortunately, yeah. Yes. So, the base principle is this: when you study the Islamic tradition, the most clear message, right? The most fundamental thing is the knowledge of who God is, and what shirk is, right? This is very clear. Anything that goes against this goes against Islam. Right? So, and it's important to understand the principle, bro. Because once you understand that, more so than going to a specific group and dealing with it, it does away with anything or anyone that goes against this understanding. Of that clarity of what Tawheed is. Tawheed meaning the oneness of who God is. Have you been reading the Quran since we spoke last? Or?
No, not really. No, this is just my questions that I've had from a while back. Because I was really mainly struggling with the free will question. Because I couldn't really, it was difficult to reconcile that if God has predetermined my actions, then that makes me feel like whatever I choose is also predetermined. Because there's like a kind of limit as to how many options I have, and I'm not completely free to.
You know this? There are scholars who have given explanations to this. There are individuals who have tried to explain this and articulate this. But I personally hold the opinion this is one of those topics or subjects which is absolutely beyond us, right? And most of the scholars have said, look, you know what? There's no point even delving into this. Okay. Because number one, it's beyond us, as we've discussed already. But number two, and I think this is more of an important point, which is that it doesn't benefit us as human beings as to what our objective in this life is, right? So even if, hypothetically speaking, I was now to stand there and articulate this to you, how to understand free will and predestiny, and I've heard some of the explanations, and some of them are quite interesting. I can stand there.